All right, y'all. So today we have...
My name is Ruben.
We got Ruben, all right, or Ben for short, and he's a fellow missionary. He's traveling on his bike, and he was driving by. We waved at each other. The next thing you know, we're talking about God. So we're just going to chat for just a second. So anyways, all right, dude, just a couple questions for you. Or topics I figured it'd be cool to discuss is like... So correct me if I'm wrong, the background is about 8 months ago or so, you just started traveling on bike and you just felt like God was a huge part of that, leading you to go, it's like far as into the earth or whatnot.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I like to challenge myself, and I wanted to challenge myself in faith, because we asked God to bless us with many blessings, and I was blessed, for at the time I was 26, single, I don't have no kids.
That's
I was working a good job, so I had everything that most people nowadays think we want or we need, which is really more than what we really need. So I started attending church, and I would always hear about missions and helping others, and that I love helping others, and at the same time a lot of times I've heard about being too attached to your materials, and whenever I heard stuff about that, what I was hearing metaphorically was, how big is your faith? Whenever I heard preachers preach about...
Oh wait, hold on 1 second. All right, we're good.
Whenever I heard about preachings about missions and people getting too attached to their belongings and faith, I was like, well, how do I know I'm not one of those people who walk around here saying I have faith, but I won't give everything up for God? Like, He gave everything up to go walk and let us know the right way. So
okay, what do you feel like? It's funny you say all that, because it's like, I mean, the amount of people out there who are like, yeah, I believe I would... I mean, so many people claim Christianity, but none of our lives look like it, But it's like, I believe a lot of that is people don't go all in, It's like we read Scripture. Now, most people don't even read Scripture, and the people who do don't take any of it literally. Where it says God's like, go to the farthest ends of the earth, try to make the world better, try to do something about it, dedicate your life to the greater good, and I will provide as you go on this mission. Like, you have a mission, not a life you get to always... I mean, you need to savor life, but it's not. Life isn't about having fun. It's about you do the work, and the work itself is fun, right? And it's like all these people who don't go with it. So I guess, I don't know, my big question is, now that you've been on the road, what do you feel like is just one of your biggest takeaways from it all?
The flavor, the savoring, the blessings, and the good moments and the bad moments. You ever drink juice or soda just to drink it? You're not even thirsty. It tastes good, but you don't really appreciate it because you're not at a point where you're so dehydrated that even a drop of water would quench your body, So I put myself in these positions where I'm thirsty for faith, for more wisdom, for more knowledge, for more blessings, for more brothers and sisters, and more love and more peace. And I'm so thirsty for it that I went out here and started looking for it. It's like I'm traveling out in the desert looking for water instead of waiting for the rain.
That's what's up, man. It's funny, man. It's like, I feel like my biggest takeaway so far out of all this is just that concept of if you just... It's just the power of the Bible, man. I think that's the biggest thing of all. It's like everything that God promises comes true. It's like Jesus is like, you will see these miracles, you will perform all these great, powerful acts, you will witness to these people's lives. It's like all of it will happen. But it's like, what people want is they want to live in this bubble, and from the safety of this bubble that they've created by the strength of their own hand, they then all of a sudden want to witness all these miracles and wonder why their life isn't changed. And even when I meet Christians, they're like, oh, I don't like. What bothers me is how many people don't know about God yet. It's like they're still in this brand new faith after supposedly being a Christian for several years, and you're just like, when are you going to grow up enough to where, when are you going to witness Him? What's your plan? And so it's like we get jobs and we buy stuff so that our stuff having friends will think we're worth something. And it's kind of like you're saying, like envy. It's like people want to, they're too worried about how they look and what they have and how comfortable they are, and etc. And so it's like you reach your deathbed never having done anything special.
Yes.
And that's why old people, all of a sudden you see like old people start getting involved and trying to like go on trips, but it's like you missed your youth.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I know exactly. There's new movies coming out now where old people just take off from their old folks' home and they go watch a baseball game and enjoy a hot dog, and to them that's like the most greatest thing. And like, yeah, I mean, some people wait until the time's almost out to start appreciating things, and throughout different events in my life, I gladly I'm 27 now, and like I have the mindset that I have, because I don't want to be on my deathbed and have a bunch of money but have no memories, planted no seeds, like I didn't do anything for this world. I'm gonna leave it all behind, and like the money that I busted all my life for, like it's gonna be like useless,
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like there's a scripture where it talks about where there's this farmer and he's just prospering so much, so he's like, you know what, I'm going to tear down my barn and build an even bigger one, and have so much, and then from then I'll be able to eat, drink, and be merry, and then God's like, God talks to him after he finishes, and he's like, you fool, you're going to die tomorrow. He's like, you're going to die, and then what will become of all this stuff? That's it, man. And it's funny because it's just like just a hypothetical. If anyone listens to this or whatnot, or like half the time when I try to do these videos, I suck at like doing the audio or something goes wrong, so half of them don't even get published. But if it does get published, like y'all, here's a little challenge: if you had a magical debit card that never ran out, and not that you were rich, but you had no worries, what would you do with your life? Like, think about that. It's like that. It's almost like this concept of like, if you let go of like money and just quit worrying about it. Like if you really hypothetically just did not care about money at all, and it no longer was a problem, what would you then do? Yeah. But what would you do with your life then? And half the people that I've like met on the road or talking to strangers or asked for this, it's the same answer. I don't know. I have no idea. It's like no one. And it's funny too, because the other night I met this girl who, she said she's a waitress. And was talking about she's struggling to make ends meet. And she's upset because like her and her boyfriend had to move in with like his mom or something, and then the whole situation's real toxic and blah blah. And I was like, well, what do you want to do with your life? What's like your destiny? And she was just like, I don't know. And I was like, well, that's why you're going in circles, and that's why you're drowning out here. You just floating. You don't know where the shore is. You don't know where to start swimming. You have no way out. And believe me, it's just going to get worse. And there is no depth to how bad this life can get. Yeah. But at the same time, there's no limit to how good it can get. Yeah. But you gotta know what God put you on this earth for.
Yeah, man. Like, I used to want to be like rich and want these big cars and stuff when I was younger, but I mean now I just want to be able to help. Like, I want to be rich and like in favor and in love more than like money, because like when you hand somebody money, like it's not really helping them. Like sometimes people just need to vent. People need a vent. People just need a friend. They need God, and God is not money. So that's really what it is.
He says that, you can't serve two masters anyway. It's like me or money, which one will it be?
Yeah. So, I mean, and everybody does things differently. Like most people, they'll see us and they'll be like, well, a lot of times when I'm conversating with people and I tell them like what the kind of mission I'm on, I try to tell them like, hey, but we all are different tools. So don't think that because you're not out here doing what we're doing doesn't mean you don't have faith or you're not a believer. Maybe you're going to be used in a different way, but just have an open heart and an open mind and want that, just look for a situation where you can take advantage of helping somebody, and just don't rob nobody of their blessing when they try to help you. Be humble and put your pride down, and be the first one to help.
It's funny, and it's a good point that you make, that it's like we all have something to do, but whatnot. It's like I used to work with like these high schoolers, and I remember one of them was asking me about like career stuff, and I literally responded with, hear the context I'm saying, but most of the time careers can be pretty unbiblical. It's like you need to seek ye first the kingdom, figure out what your mission is, and everything will work around that. So it's not to take away and say that everyone has to be out here, but at the same time, it's like the vast majority of people who are staying put, it's their choice. They've made a choice, but at the same time, it's almost like when you do subject yourself to being on mission for God at all times, it's like it changes you, and it's like we were talking about earlier. Like it's like it starts training you for something bigger, you know. And then when you do reach these times where you got to reassimilate back into the world for whatever reason, you know, whether it's a period or a long term, it's like you're not the same anymore. You have new tools and skills under your belt.
Even just picking a career, you know, a person who picks their career based just on money, it's going to be easy for them to pick a career that's non-biblical.
Yeah.
But someone who wants to help and like has their mind on God is going to probably pick a career where he's helping, even though he's getting paid. Like, you know, it's like where your mind's at, where your mentality is at. Where if you want to help, you're going to find a way to help. If you don't want to help, you're going to find a million excuses, you know?
Okay, so let me ask you something too. It's like, so you've been on the road for like almost a year now. Or we're getting there. 8 months, huh? Okay, so here's my question: is like, how a lot of people I think also would hesitate to like go on a lot of this stuff because it's like hard, right? So what do you feel helps you, or how do you get through like the hard times? Or
I put myself in the disciples' shoes and in God's shoes. If God did this for me, why can't I do it for Him?
Oh, that's touche, man. That's a great point. You know,
people say, "Well, it's hot." Okay. Did God say it was hot? You know, well, what am I going to eat? Don't worry, you're going to eat. You're going to eat, you know. You're going to eat, man. If you have to survive off grass, I guess, you know, but God gave us the knowledge to survive, man, you know. Sometimes you don't need money to eat. You don't need money for everything. Have you ever heard about planting a garden? Or cutting down wood? You know, we have the resources for everything, and we have the knowledge and the ability for everything. It's just that society has taught you that you have to go through them to succeed, and you don't. You just have to believe in yourself and know that God has your back, and as long as you understand that, then you have no problem with cutting out the whole world if needs to be, because people who put you down are not doing work for God.
You know what's really funny is throughout the trip, and even before it started, before the first and the second, I had a bunch of people, like a lot, like all reach out with suggestions of how I could travel and how I could make money and how you could this and that. And it's funny because it was just like, but everyone was the same thing. It was a middleman scheme. It was like, hey, if you join this travel club, all you got to do is you pay this one-time fee, and then you'll be able to this and that. Or else if you sell this product, or else if you do this pyramid scheme kind of. And it's always like, you know, if you do this one time, or if you pay this, or if you sell to this, we can help you get there.
Yeah.
And every company says that. It's like, if you join with this, we'll help you succeed with what you want to do. And I kept saying, I was like, look, it's a middleman. I don't need that. You know,
shortcuts. Those are just shortcuts. Those are just.
Well, they convince you they're a shortcut, and then they take your money. They convince you that if you do that, it'll make it easy to travel. When it's like, you could just go. You could just do it. If you just let go of this concept of like, that there's any need you have in life apart from God, that's when you become free.
Yeah, it's great to have an open mind and an open heart. Once again, like I'm saying, have an open mind, open heart to take suggestions, because there's more than one way to get to equal 4. There's 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. There's 1 + 3. There's 2 + 2. There's 4 + 0. Awesome. You know, so you're open up to all these suggestions, and we're all gonna have different patterns, but what helped you get your pattern is just being open-minded, and you know, but everyone's not gonna do it the same, but as long as we all do it, man, we should all be happy for one another.
Nah, it's a great point, man. And not to mention, it's like I had a buddy of mine I was talking to, and he was kind of like, he had some like questions, and we were talking about this very same thing about like who to listen to, and I was telling him, I was like, man, you know, it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, listen to ideas, get ideas from other people, but to add on to that was but check your source. You know, it's like, when I'd had someone recommend, hey, you know, if you want to travel, you should try this and this, the first thing I asked them was like, well, have you traveled before? You know?
Yeah.
No. Well, why in the world would I listen to your opinion? You know, but at the same time, the vast majority of answers and solutions came from people giving great suggestions.
Yeah.
You know, you meet someone kind of like I've learned some stuff from you already, like when we were talking earlier about like tricks. You know,
and so, like those schemes, those middlemen, whether they're schemes or not, maybe not all of them have like bad intentions to like wanting to get over on people. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just trying to survive, but then again, like depending on where your heart's at, it's gonna be where decisions fall back on where your heart's at, you know?
Yeah.
So like, you know, somebody comes up to me and tells me, hey, you know, let's do this small scheme. Like, I'm not gonna do it, no matter how much it pays, because that's not what I'm out here for, and that's gonna go totally against what I'm out here for, and like. I just want to eat and spread peace and love. Other than that, it's going to be hard for me to be convincing to go scheme, you know, because, like, I don't want a lot. I just want enough for me, and instead of me having a lot, I just want everyone around me to have enough.
Okay, so here's my last thing just to close all this up is man, if there's one big, I always try to exchange, like, a lesson I've learned or an encouragement. So, like, when I'll talk with people, I'll do a trade. I'll be like, so what is like the greatest lesson like you've learned and the advice you have from it? Kind of swap. So what do you got for me? If you had to just encompass the greatest thing you've learned, what would it be?
There's so much more to life than working for somebody. There's more than just having a boss, and like there's way more than just having a 9-to-5. You know, if you're willing to go through the hard times to get to the good times, then you will succeed if you go for it. You just gotta understand you don't have to have a boss. You don't have to be a worker or have your own company. There is in betweens. There is times where you just have to restart and just sit down and keep your eyes open. There's so many ways to make it out here in this world that you wouldn't even think of until you put yourself in a situation where you're willing to soak up all that advice and all these ideas and get creative and make something out of nothing. Because I mean, life is beautiful, and man, we can all reach our dreams. Just take a baby step, man. Just take a baby step. It's possible.
Nah, dude, that's awesome. That's a great word. Let me see. I think mine would be well, as of now, one that really stuck out with me. I did like this. I did this open mic, and I had these songs planned that I wanted to sing, and right as I first started, one of my strings broke. All right, and that was the string I needed, ironically, like for the majority of all these songs. It's probably why it broke. I was like practicing them, you know. But either way, it's like it broke. But it's like on the road, I've learned. It was funny. I just didn't care, you know. You just play through it, and it was a learning experience. And this guy even said, "Hey, I got some extra strings if you need them." Like after, you know, or like in between, and I was just like, no, I'm good, man. We'll keep going. And I was like, number one, this is a hard lesson for me to learn, you know. But two, it's like it's gonna force me to figure out how to improvise in the moment. It's like I guess the big thing was just like in life, you know, it's like when you stop running from problems, you know, it's like it's kind of like if someone would like have this like, oh, I want to go visit this country, you know, and don't think in terms of the problem, but think in terms of the opportunity, and just know that each time you face a problem, it's gonna force you to overcome it, and you grow from that. Yeah. So it's like eventually you'll reach a point in life. I think what this life has really done to me is I don't care when things are gonna go wrong. I'll make decisions that I know are not the most logical decision, because it's just like I've learned when problems arise, I'll overcome it. Yeah. Thanks to the grace of God, you know. So it's like it's that not running from anything anymore, you know, but running at it, and knowing that there's, you know, you just. The more problems you face, the more you overcome, the more you grow. Don't run from your growth.
There's gonna be hard times, and like it's good that you're pointing this out. That's something I almost forgot. Like, yes, there's gonna be hard times, and for a new beginner who's barely gonna take a step, like for some reason, most of the time you only think about when it gets hard. There's going to be so many beautiful moments that were unexpected and they're gonna be the best. And yes, there's gonna be hard times, but you're gonna learn to love them, like, because eventually, when the hard times come, you know it's only a matter of fact before you conquer it. Like, you start getting patience where, like, yes, it might take me a day or a week or a month, but I am going to conquer this and I am going to move forward. And like Jacob said in the Bible, you know, when the devil came and said, you know, let me do these things to Jacob, and I bet you he'll be a whole different person, and God allowed it to.
What, you mean Job?
Job.
Okay,
Job,
yeah,
Job,
okay, okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, you know, and Job said how if we could receive the good moments from the Lord with a smile, why can't we not receive the bad moments with a smile? You know, so
exactly.
So
yes.
you know, sometimes it's not that God's picking on you. It's just He's just testing your faith. He's wanting you to grow. He's giving you more. Even when He's giving you hard times, He's giving you more good things in life. You just got to keep your faith and just say thank you, God, no matter what. If you fell down, just get up and say thank you, because at least I'm able to get up and keep going forward.
That's awesome, dude. All right, brother, boom. We appreciate your time. And then if they want to follow you on Instagram, what do they search?
You could look me up under Hot Wings and Chili Cheese Fries.
I love that name. That's smart. That's better than mine, man. All right, so check them out. And we will talk to y'all soon.
God bless.